Hey there, welcome to episode 54 of Your Fun and Profitable Online Business. This is the podcast where we make growing your business feel as good as it looks. I'm Wendy Muzzy, a certified money coach and online business strategist, and I help women entrepreneurs build fun and profitable businesses with systems and intention. And today we're talking about a shift I'm making. I'm sharing my thoughts behind it, and I'm talking about how it impacts every business owner. Specifically, my free co-working group, which I called Power Hour, is becoming CEO Hour. I'm hosting it at the same time with a similar vibe, but with a slightly different intention. And that intention is what we're discussing here today. All right, let's get to it. Over the past few weeks, I've had some incredible conversations with some amazing business owners. And interestingly, a lot of them have had a similar theme about feeling meh. Could be the time of year, it could be what's going on, it could just be business stuff. But if this sounds familiar, please know you're not alone. Here's what I'm noticing. These women are spending a lot of time answering emails, posting content, tracking down files, putting out tiny fires, but they're not seeing the results in their business. And here's where I think they're getting stuck. They're working in their business all hours of the day, but they're not being intentional about working on their business. And these are two completely different roles. Working in your business is what keeps it running, and that's definitely needed. But working on your business determines where it's going. And when you don't create space to work on it, your business stops expanding. Maybe you'll tell yourself you'll get to it when things calm down. And in this space, you feel productive, but not intentional enough to feel powerful. I call this reaction mode as opposed to direction mode. And it's exhausting. I think it's especially hard because you didn't take the leap to start your business just to react to everything around you. You started it to create something, to feel engaged in something that actually matters to you. And when that energy isn't there, that's when I see high-achieving entrepreneurs ask themselves if they're really cut out for this. Let me lovingly say, this is not evidence that you're not capable. It's usually proof you're operating as the employee, the assistant, the tech support, the content creator, but not the CEO. Now, CEO doesn't mean corporate, stiff, or bossy, unless that's what you want. If so, that's great. No change is needed. But for me, CEO means creativity, energy, and optimism. C is for creativity because we're building from imagination, not urgency. We're giving ourselves room to experiment, to think through new ideas, and to design something that really excites us. E is for energy because we're engaged with where we're heading, not just tackling what's in front of us. We're directing our efforts on purpose. And O is for optimism because we can see what we're building. We trust that small strategic moves will compound, and that is something we create, not just hope for. Now, this combined is all about forward momentum, and we cannot create forward momentum if we never step out of the weeds long enough to choose the direction. So what do you do if you realize that you're buried in the weeds? Here are 3 approaches I teach my clients. Number 1 is automate. If you're doing something repeatedly and manually, it's a candidate for automation, easy. Now, this isn't about building a complicated process. It can be as easy as using a checklist or a free tool to move it from one step to the next. The goal at the end of the day is to protect your mental bandwidth. And every repetitive task you automate is one less decision draining your CEO energy. Now, number 2 is delegate. If someone else can do it 80% as well as you, it's time to get it off your plate. Not because you can't do it, but because your highest value is in your vision and your direction. And delegation protects this valued time, even if it's just a few hours a month to start with. Number 3 is eliminate. Now, I find it funny how underrated this is. Not everything needs to exist. That extra offer you can't figure out can be scrapped. Or that new idea you keep trying to force, it needs to be taken off the list. Because growth doesn't always require adding. Sometimes it requires subtraction. And in these cases, the most strategic move is simplifying so you can put your energy where it needs to go instead of scattering it all around. And here's the thing. You will not clearly see what needs automation, delegation, or elimination if you never step back long enough to evaluate it. You've got to set aside time to work on your business. And this is where my reformatted CEO hour comes in. Instead of the two 25-minute blocks Power Hour used to have, we're shifting it to one focused 50-minute block and then a celebration at the end. Why? Because people ask for it, and CEO work requires depth. This time is to make sure you're putting your business first. It's not just checkbox work, it's intentional work. And even one focused task, done on purpose, can make all the difference in the world. That celebration at the end, too, it's intentional. Celebration creates reinforcement, and reinforcement creates consistency. Now, imagine this. You're ready for CEO Hour. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock if you're on the Eastern time zone. Wherever you are else in the world, you can calculate it. You log in, ready to join other business owners choosing to lead their business. You spend the focus time block working on your business. You wrap up feeling clearer, accomplished, like your CEO mode is activated. Now, let me say something important here. CEO Hour isn't for people mapping something complex. Working on your business this week could look like updating your website bio, cleaning up your offer description, creating your first onboarding checklist, sending follow-ups you've been avoiding, or just blocking the time off to think. All of it counts. And when you do it, you're not just running a business, you're leading one. You're not just busy, you're building. And that's where your joy is hanging out. Not because everything's perfect, but because you're actively shaping your business and heading where you want to go. All right, let's get to your action step this week. I want you to block an hour on your calendar, make it a recurring event, label it as CEO Hour, and take that time to work on your business. Remember, what you do during this time isn't about complexity. It's about intentional forward movement. Make sure you protect that time block just like it's a client appointment, because it matters. More than a client meeting, I could argue. And if you're ready to do it with other people who get it, join us Wednesdays at 1. You can sign up at wendymuzzy.com/CEO. And I have to say this. If this is something that keeps popping up as something you'll do eventually, this is your nudge. Now is the time. You'll be so incredibly happy you didn't wait. All right. Today we talked about the difference between working in your business versus working on your business. We talked about the 3 levers to pull when you're stuck in the weeds, which are automate, delegate, and eliminate. And how CEO isn't just a title you earn at some magical point. It's a decision you make when you choose to lead your business instead of just managing it. And that decision can start with one focused hour. All right, until next time, have fun working on your business.